Governor Udom Emmanuel expressed his willingness to partner United States of America to develop Akwa Ibom State. Akwa Ibom State Chief Judge Justice Stephen Okon retires from service. President Muhammadu Buhari approves payment of 22 billion naira outstanding debt to agro dealers. Details of these and of other stories in just a moment. Joining us. My name is Augusta Yesien. Governor Udom Emmanuel has invited the United States of America to partner Akwa Ibom State government to facilitate her growth into a developed economy. The governor gave their open invitation at a gala organized at the State Banquet Hall in honor of the American ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. William Stott Symington, who was on an official visit to the state. Government House Bureau Chief Colonel Edemefrete reports.
Udom Emmanuel, who observed the great impact the United States of America's involvement in China had made on Shenzhen, turning it into a world main focus, said it would be good if America could buy into the state to bring it into world focus. The governor said the state is blessed with abundant natural and human resources, but that he needed capital to harness the resources to build a strong economic base. While assuring of favorable environment for a successful investment, Mr. Udom Emmanuel said he was open to partnering groups and individuals, stressing that he was poised to make a difference by thinking about what tomorrow would hold for the people. He used the opportunity to call on the Western world to allow easy transfer of technology to developing countries to enhance their speedy industrialization and development. The governor, who expressed the hope that the ambassador had gotten the best on his visit to the state, thanked him for being a brother and a friend, as well as his interest in the welfare of the state.
I'm sure with the talent that we have human capital in abundance. One needs certain resources to harness this human capital. Once I have a strong human capacity, I believe what we are learning in the creek will be a child's play. Here we are telling you that we are looking at ourselves beyond what others, both human and intellectual. And that we believe this state will be a state of great people with great minds, because we will walk and go beyond what others see.
The American ambassador, Mr. William Symington, said Nigerians needed to believe in themselves and believe that fellow Nigerian is the greatest asset for the country's development. Ambassador Symington, who stressed that the power and resources of the Americans that makes their country what it is today is the people, said Akwa Ibom was blessed with natural endowments which portrays that God loves it. He urged the people to share that love with one another, promote the peace symbolized by the white color in the Nigerian flag, and treasure what God has placed in the state, human and material, to ensure the advancement of the state. The ambassador thanked the governor for the warm welcome, saying it was truly remarkable for him and members of his team.
If you happen to believe, as I do, that the greatest resource of your country is in that village and in your heart and in yourselves, the people of Nigeria. That's the basic. That's what you said when I asked you. And then when I say, what do you love about the people of Nigeria? In the very next breath, everybody says, I love our diversity. I love our cultures. I love our music. I love our food.
The event, which had the Speaker of the State House of Assembly set the tone for the night, saw the guests treated to rich Akwa Ibom cuisines, with different artists, comedians, and cultural troupes entertaining. Colonel Edemefrete reporting.
The wife of the state governor, Mrs. Martha Udom Emmanuel, has called on members of the commissioners and Special Advisors Wives Association to embark on credible programs to leave lasting legacy in the state. The governor's wife made the call Thursday when the group led by the President, Mrs. Blessing Ebonku, paid her a visit at Government House. A story is here presented.
Said that executing credible programs will help to position and add value to the group. She advised against abuse of their roles, saying that theirs is to complement their husbands' efforts in delivering quality leadership at their domains. The State First Lady noted that as wives of public officers, they were closer to the people at home and charged them to liaise with female stakeholders in their respective domains to deliver quality services to the women, children, and youth. She also asked them to come up with programs that will have positive impact on the people and expressed a readiness to work with them to touch more lives at the grassroots.
Teach them about what they can do with their hands. It's not good for a woman to sit down without doing anything, because the husband can never be able to do all. The hand is weak from the husband, but the woman should be able to support. And when you are a full-time housewife, how will you be able to do that? So you teach them that you can start any business with 5,000 naira. You can start something, no matter how small.
The Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Welfare, Dr. Gloria Edet, in her remarks, charged them to be of good conduct and work to bridge the gap of development in their constituencies. She stressed the need for loyalty to the administration. Earlier in her remarks, the leader of the group, Mrs. Blessing Monduko, had lauded the governor's wife for granting the group audience despite a tight schedule. Mrs. Ko commended the governor's wife for her passion and commitment to improve the lives of women, the elderly, youth, and children in the state through our pet project FAIREP, and promised as a group to complement our vision by undertaking projects that will benefit the women and children. She said that they were on the visit to show their solidarity and loyalty to the governor's wife, whom she said is the leader of the group.
We commend Your Excellency for your passion and commitment towards improving the lives of women, the elderly, youth, and children in the state under the auspices of the Family Empowerment and Youth Reorientation Park Initiative, FAIREP.
The State Chief Judge, Justice Stephen Okon, has formally bowed out of service. A Thanksgiving service was held yesterday at the Assemblies of God Church, Akaitiamuyo, where Justice Okon later addressed a valedictory court session at the Judiciary Multi-Purpose Hall, Wellington Basuwerio. The event was attended by justices of the Federal and State High Court, the Chief Registrar, members of the Bar, and officials of the Judiciary, as well as family members, friends, and associates of the outgone Chief Judge. Details of the story will be brought to you in our subsequent bulletin. The review of curricula for legal education of judges to ensure efficiency and excellence has been advocated. A professor of international law in Bangkok University, Ogun State, Professor Nsonwura Udombana, made the advocacy in Uyo while delivering a lecture to mark the retirement of the State Chief Judge, Justice Stephen Okon. Etieno Ibanga completes the story.
According to Professor Udombana, Council of Legal Education, in conjunction with the National Universities Commission, Nigeria Bar Association, and similar bodies, should regularly fine-tune the curricula for continuing education of lawyers to make it a living document rather than a parachute to be remembered in the event of an emergency. He said that some subjects that are being taught in law faculties are outdated with no bearing on current global realities as well as the teaching methodologies. Professor Dombana hinted that many law teachers still detect worn-out notes to students in this 21st century, driven by information and communications technology, while others spend most of their time chasing briefs and have little time to pass knowledge or undertake quality research. The professor of international law spoke on the need for Nigerians Association of Law Teachers and Council of Legal Education to address the situation to enable Nigerian children with potential for greatness to have dedicated hands to fan their potentials into flame.
The barrister was defending to the end, provided only that his faith is true. He must accept the dream and do all he already can on behalf of his client. He has a duty to the court, which is paramount. It is a cause of truth and justice.
Professor Dombana, who noted that the public was no longer comfortable with the declining standards of legal services and conduct, called on judicial officers to work to erase the drift by returning to the basis. The law teacher congratulated Justice Stephen Okon for serving the state and humanity with distinction and bowing out in grace.
One can only imagine the number of days that the lordship sat to dispense justice, or the number of nights that he wrote judgments without electricity. And if you add the teacher's madman recording of all proceedings, then it is a notable achievement to live, work, and retire good.
Etienne Ibanga reporting.
Thanks for watching AKBC News this morning. If you're just joining us, we said earlier that Governor Dom Emmanuel has invited the United States of America to partner with Akwa Ibom State Government to facilitate her growth into a developed economy. The governor gave the open invitation at a gala organized at the State Banquet Hall in honor of the American ambassador to Nigeria. We also said that the wife of the governor, Mrs. Martha Udom Emmanuel, has called on members of commissioners and special advisors' wives association to embark on credible programs to leave lasting legacies in the state. The governor's wife made the call on Thursday when the group led by its president, Mrs. Blessing Ebong, who called on her in her office. Take a break. When we come back, President Muhammadu Buhari approves payment of 22 billion naira outstanding debts to agro dealers. To stay with us. Welcome back. A two-day in-house workshop on the role of legal officers in mitigating litigation against local government has ended in Uyo. The training was organized for directors of administration and legal officers in the 31 local government areas of the state. Iano Paul has the details.
The chairman of the Local Government Service Commission, Savala Tawar, declaring the workshop open, said it has become common knowledge that the legal units in the local government have not achieved their full potentials due to a litany of factors. This reason, Savalata said, informed the organization of the workshop with the hope that it will go a long way in bridging the gap between the legal unit and the local government areas. The chairman, who noted that the duties of the legal officers were critical and pivotal in the local government, stressed the need for increased productivity. He urged participants to make good use of the opportunity afforded them.
It is also my belief that you will reciprocate the Commission's investment towards the capacity building by putting into practice the new things which you will learn in this workshop. I also wish to assure you all that the Commission under my leadership will seriously consider whatever communique that will be arrived at the end of this program as a way of breathing life to the whole extent of this workshop.
In his lecture on overview of the role of litigation officers and heads of personnel in local government administration, Barrister CNSA said the law has granted a number of rights to the local government to sue, be sued, and can also defend or enforce its rights. Barrister Sema said that litigation officers must have the legal skills and discipline to keep the local government functioning and out of legal trouble.
The system of local government by democratically elected local government councils is under this constitution guarantee, and accordingly, the governments of every state shall ensure their existence under a law which provides for the establishment, structure, composition, finance, and functions of such councils.
In another lecture on contract and due process administration, Barrister Udo Samudo said the schedule of duties of legal officers do not state at what point the legal officers should be involved in contract administration in the Local Government Service Commission. Barrister Samudo noted that it was expedient to allow the legal officers to permeate the entire contract process or be privy to the formation of contracts, as this will bring peaceful and conclusive workability of such contracts. Barrister Keminudum, who titled his paper Contemporary Issues in Garnishee Proceeding, The Role of Legal Officers, defined garnishee proceeding as a judicial proceeding by the judgment creditor against a person in custody of money belonging to the judgment debtor. Barrister Udom stressed that there was no local government that has never been confronted with garnishee orders from various courts, but that legal officers should play the role of sentinels for purpose of safeguarding the third tier of government from recurring financial distress. The event featured interactive session and communique on actualizing the vision of the Local Government Service Commission. Eyagenopo reporting.
Pupils of Shield International School, Ikorabasi Street, Uyo, called at the transmitting station of the Kwaibom Broadcasting Corporation at Ntarian. Both the pupils and their teachers were received and shown to the various departments and units of the radio and television transmitting stations. An intern with AKBC 45 News, Esther Asukwo, filed in the story.
Mrs. Eunice Egariba, who was on duty as a duty continuity announcer on radio at the time of the visit, received the pupils and explained to them the function of the different equipment and gadgets in the radio live studio. Mr. Mebenson, who was at the transmitter hall, also explained to the pupils the function of the transmitter and how it works. At the radio newsroom, Mr. Mike Udo lectured the pupils on the importance of news, how news is gathered and processed for broadcast each day.
So we have various equipment. We have, of course, have some of them at home. You have the compact disc player. You can hear us on your phone, even without, you tuning radio. These are our microphones for the voice to be heard.
The work of the media is receiving what the student is doing and now send to people in the house. Like you are listening radio in the house, even the car radio, you will now receive what we are doing here.
Since you are here at this tender age, you will be interested in becoming a broadcaster, in becoming a journalist.
At the television transmitter hall, Engineer Mfoni Yang received the pupils and introduced them to the transmitter and its function, saying it's very important in broadcasting. Engineer Yang said that the transmitter is a combination of mechanical and electrical equipment that converts electrical signals from the studio into waves, which are set out to the antenna for transmission to different homes. Mr. Samuel Ayara of the AKBC television briefed the pupils and their teachers on the uses of newsroom and its function.
This is where the news is usually written and sent for broadcast. Those news stories you watch at home, this is where it is prepared.
The rains are here again, and with attendant heavy wind that have led to the destruction of farmlands and houses in some communities of the state. Some communities affected by the storm include Ikorobong, Ikorambang, and Ikoresien in Ikorabas local government area, where some residents have been rendered homeless. Uruaikong reports.
For months, the people waited for the rains to come so their farms could be plowed for the season. They also desired some coolness to reduce the heat experienced from continuous days and weeks of intense sunlight. But when the rains came, it left some sour taste in the mouth of some families. It was accompanied with heavy winds that swept through communities like a hurricane, leaving behind tales of injuries and destruction. Many houses and farmlands were affected, leaving those spared to provide alternative accommodation to others rendered homeless.
It's about 11 o'clock. Rains with windstorms, and as you can see, more than 100 houses have been affected. And the occupants of these houses have been rendered homeless. We've tried to render some help so that they can have a place to lay their heads.
However, the people of Ikorobasi have appealed to the state government and the State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, to come to the aid of those affected.
We don't have a place to stay. I can't pack Solomon. I'm going hold up.
So, I my memory so disastrous. Storm pulled down my house and spoiled everything.
So, some of our old women, we want
prompt reaction, especially at a time like this.
When news of the windstorm destruction broke, one of those who visited the affected communities was the member representing Ikorobasi, Eastern Obolo in the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Mr. Udwak Odudo, who thanked God that no life was lost in the unfortunate incident, which he described as pathetic. He assured the people that the situation would be relayed to relevant agencies for immediate assistance.
But when I spoke with the governor, I should come and take stock and also liaise with the relevant agencies so that government attend to the plight of these affected persons.
Udwakeko reporting.
President Buhari has approved the payment of 22 billion naira outstanding debt to agro dealers. And in South Africa, attacks on Nigerians continue. Over now to AKBC Channel 45 national and foreign news segments.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the payment of outstanding 22 billion naira that is meant for dealers of agricultural input, popularly known as agro dealers, in order to ensure the seamless distribution of fertilizers at an approved rate of 5,500 for 50 kg. The National Chairman, Agro Dealer Association of Nigeria, Mr. Kabiru Farah, told journalists that the approval was part of measures to bring down the price of the commodity, which is currently being sold between 10 to 12,000 naira, and to enhance its distribution, explaining that the 22 billion was a balance out of 66 billion owed the agro dealers by the previous government. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Aldo Agbe, said the government is working on measures that will further crash the price of fertilizer by 50%. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adelson, and the Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, to act appropriately and with dispatch in releasing the second tranche of the London Paris Club refund to states in order to ease their financial hardship. The President, while addressing the meeting of the National Economic Council made up of state governors and chaired by the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, however, made a strong case for settlements of unpaid salaries and pension liabilities of their workers. President Buhari challenged the governors to pay salaries on time, even as he thanked them for their display of support and love for him. Some of the governors who spoke, including Governor Dom Emmanuel, expressed their love for the President and reiterated their support for him. Former Group Managing Director of Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC), Andrew Yakubu, has had his day in court. He was arraigned on a 6-count criminal charge of money laundering, receiving money without going through a financial institution, and failure to declare sin, among others. Andrew Yakubu has denied all charges, despite the pleas by his counsel Amin Raji to the court to grant him bail and release his travel document. Justice Mohammed, after listening to both parties, have ruled that Yakubu be remanded in Kuje prison, while the court adjourned to Tuesday 21st March to rule on the bail application. And in a related development, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned Ojinaka Emmanuel and Nwoke Juventus before Justice Dogbo Ohari of the Federal High Court Enugu on a 3-count charge of conspiracy under declaration of currency and procurement fraud. Ajinaka, the first accused, procured the second accused, Nwoke, to transport in cash to China the sum of $167,900, which were underdeclared before the Nigerian Customs Service operating in the Kanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, where they were arrested. And on the foreign scene, despite efforts by Nigerian government to ameliorate the xenophobic attacks on Nigerians in South Africa, the menace seemed to continue. The latest is the attack on some Nigerians and their properties in Tongfonstein, South Africa, shortly after the departure of Nigeria's peace delegate to South Africa. Some South Africans carrying out the attacks are of the opinion that Nigerians are acquiring houses illegally, and some of the houses are used as brothel. However, some Nigerians have presented legal documents for the houses they possess and the businesses carried out in the property. The International Organization for Migration say at least 31 persons have been killed after a boat carrying Somali refugees was targeted in a helicopter attack off the coast of Yemen. Women and children, including Somalese refugees carrying ID documents issued by the United Nations Commissioner for Refugees (UNHCR), were among those killed when the vessel was hit near the Bab el Mandab Strait. About 80 persons were rescued and taken to hospitals. No group has so far taken responsibility for the attack.
With our reports, we conclude the presentation of Channel 4-5 News at dawn. Just before we go, we take another look at the top stories. Governor Dom Emmanuel has invited the United States of America to partner Akwa Ibom State government to facilitate a growth into a developed economy. The governor gave the opening invitation at the gala organized at the State Banquet Hall in honor of the American ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. William Stott Symington, who was an unofficial visit to the state. We also told you that the state chief judge, Justice Stephen Okon, has formally bowed out of service. A Thanksgiving service was held yesterday at the Assemblies of God Church, Kaitiam Road, Kaitiam Uyo, after which Justice Okon addressed a valedictory court service session at the Judiciary Multipurpose Hall, Wellington Basiwe, Uyo. You can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging onto akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45UU or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. On behalf of the production crew, have a wonderful Saturday ahead and stay blessed.